Welcome to Grit and Gravitas with Ann and Annie, bringing you savvy, spirited stories of success. We're excited to deliver 30 minutes of inspiration, impact, and goodness. We'll be bringing you guests and friends from around the country who have very special work and personal journeys. I'm Ann Deeter Gallaher, your co-host with Annie Carnathan, and this is Grit and Gravitas. Let's go! Grit and Gravitas, our studio is full today, Annie Carnathan, and we're recording on a Friday, which is awesome. We don't usually record on a Friday.
I don't know that we ever have. We're going to do it next Friday, too.
Yeah. I feel like at Deeter Gallaher Group, we do High Gear Fridays. So we discuss what the high gear wins of the week are. So Carolina's our high gear win this week.
Perfect.
Thank you so much. I'm excited to be here.
Good. Carolina Harvey, we're excited to have you in the studio. I can't wait to hear all of your tips and insights on Cure the Clutter, which is your business.
Correct.
But you also are on, is it A&E Hoarders? Am I saying that right?
Correct.
Which I have watched, Annie. Have you watched Hoarders?
No,
yikes.
I'm the
Yeah.
exact opposite. No. I don't, no, the other way. Yeah.
I mean, watching it on TV. Yeah. I've seen several.
You mean the other way, like neat and organized, and you
you
get rid of everything.
Not usable. Yes.
Gotcha.
Yes. My men are the complete opposite.
I know, but I have watched several times.
Have you?
Yeah. I can't believe it. I can't believe what I see. And I did ask you a little bit about that. But Carolina, welcome. Give us a little backstory on your career journey. And I know your husband, who served with me on Salvation Army.
Correct.
So I was excited to know him first, actually, before I met you.
Yes.
But share a little bit about your backstory, please.
Yeah. So back in 2007, I had one son at the time. Two sons at the time. And I really wanted to do something. I wanted to do something that would serve my community and use my gifts. And my husband and I talked, and it took us about a year. I think the thing that made us take the longest was finding the name for my business.
Oh, I love the name.
So once I found the name for the business, because we really wanted it to identify what it is that we do.
Right.
And so we started the business in 2008. But the goal was really to serve my community and use my gifts.
Nice.
And I feel like that's what we're doing.
Yes.
How did you know what your gifts were? How did you, narrow cast down into top 3, top 5?
Yeah. I think what your question is really interesting, because I actually went to college for mathematics. It's very different than what I'm doing, but it is in the same way, something like we're talking about spatial things and looking at projects and being able to dissect them and break them down, kind of like a mathematics problem. So I really, because I feel like I can see things that maybe others can't see, like vision and vision spaces, I feel like it's been a gift of mine since I was really young. I am neat, I am organized, but that's not the only part of this. I think that makes me strong, or our team strong, is it's our compassion, it's our care for people, it's our love for people, and being able to get them to where they have to go. My goal is really to give you your time back. I want you to be able to spend time doing things that you want to do rather than what you have to do. You have a clean and organized space, then you're getting to do what you want to do, not what you have to.
Oh, that's awesome.
That's a business vitamin,
yes.
pretty much. Right.
And I know that we're going to have a lot of business vitamins because I'm listening. And I do make my bed every morning anyway.
Good job.
Me too.
Good job.
So I imagine it's such an interesting concept to me. Like this is an intensely personal thing you do. You are in people's space. Mm-hmm. When we talk about what your job is spatial,
absolutely.
You are in their innermost,
yes.
Parts of their home.
Absolutely.
And you can see, a lot. You can tell a lot about a person.
Right. Absolutely. All the things. Yes. From finances to private things, for sure. And we don't take that lightly. We are honored that anyone would call us. I think the hardest thing that people do is to reach out for help first. And so if people are taking that big step, we don't take it lightly. And so we are honored to be allowed into people's homes, into those sacred and safe spaces, and to help them and guide them. Absolutely.
So what's a typical client, if you would, like Is it, elderly parents that the children are moving out, or is it just a middle-aged mom that can't get a grip any longer, that things just spiraled out of control, or is that yes and yes?
Yes to all of the above.
Yeah.
Honestly, it's everything. I worked with a client today that's moving and downsizing. Working with other clients they're upsizing. Their home is actually bigger. They don't have enough to fill in it, but it's all disorganized and discombobulated. So we have a little bit of everything, stay-at-home moms to professionals to people that work from home. We actually do not-for-profits too. We've done churches. We've worked in business offices doing their files and, organizing their time management, those kinds of things. So it really runs the gamut. There's not one single thing that we do, which is really fun. Makes it every day different.
Oh my word. So you are doing, walk us through what would be the first thing you do when you arrive in a home?
I have a conversation and I listen a lot. I think when I first meet a client first time is I want to talk to them. I kind of want to understand where they're coming from. Yeah. What's going on? Why am I here? What's the reason that you feel like you need a professional organizing service to guide you and help you? And so I like to listen a lot. I think you get to learn so much about people when you shut your mouth and open your ears.
Yeah, and it's interesting. When you speak, you are speaking what you know. When you listen is when you really learn. And that's when we talk about your gifts. I wouldn't necessarily, without watching you, hearing you, taking you in, equate mathematics with the off the chart EQ you have. Your energy, you're vivacious, you're positive.
Thank you.
That is not necessarily what goes along with a right brain of
very
math.
True.
And so that's why I'm fascinated with when you narrow down your gifts, this is really what has to start as EQ.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And giving,
right?
To essentially run then the part of your business that you're really there to run. So it's interesting to acknowledge that and say, what business do we get to?
For sure.
That's going to, display my superpowers.
And that definitely takes time. Maturity, wisdom. I have children. My patience has grown. Right. All those kinds of things that come into play when you have people that are more compassionate. Usually there's a little gray hair there, hopefully, right?
Well, they know you care.
Absolutely.
And people don't know, they don't care what you know until they know you care.
Absolutely.
That's absolutely
right.
A finite aspect.
Absolutely.
So if you're going into the home, and I think, I know how I feel if my desk is cluttered, or it affects your emotional and mental health as well.
Absolutely.
I feel you can't move around, you can't think as quickly, or my creativity might be impacted. Do you find that when you're in the client's, are they experiencing that? Is that one of the reasons they've called you?
Absolutely. I think productivity is something everybody wants to have productivity, whether it's your work life, your home life. You want to be productive in the environments that you're in. And when you have clutter, you're not able to be productive.
Right.
And so the goal is to really help them really get that time back, whether it's to be productive, whether it's to spend time with your loved ones, whatever that is. Yeah. For sure.
That's awesome.
And I get so easily distracted anyway. And these people that have Post-it notes everywhere to remind them, that's so counterproductive for my brain.
Right.
Because then you're doing, to me, everything poorly, or these pistons are firing of all these things that you have to do or haven't gotten done. And so I think a nice, orderly way it integrates to my brain, which you have to get to.
Sure.
How are you going to function after I help you
Yeah.
in that way, in a productive way?
For sure. Well, and when I think about someone that has Post-it notes everywhere, something is working for them. So we also talk about, when I go into that space, some of my questions are, what is working for you?
Right.
Because sometimes Post-it notes are good, but maybe we can consolidate them, reserve them for a spot rather than all over the place, So I think working with them, our goal is to customize it. We're not cookie cutter. Yeah. Everybody is not the same, right? We're all created differently. Right. We all think differently. We all have different jobs, different responsibilities. And so we really want to customize it to what that person is looking for. And so if I see a lot of Post-it notes, and now I've seen that, reminding them this, reminding them that, well, or can we use a phone to alarm you, to remind you? What other ways can we use to help you?
Visually cluttering.
Yes. Or maybe the visual is very helpful. Changing change the colors. You know, people that struggle, and we work with people that have ADD or ADHD.
Right.
And I say some people are self-proclaimed ADD or ADHD. I'm talking about clinically diagnosed by a professional, ADD, ADHD. We do it differently for you. You respond differently to organization and order. And so we help them differently. Again, customizing it for them.
Oh, that's pretty cool. So what tips would you give a young person, say someone like your children, you know, that's either in high school or coming into college or transitioning to career, that would help them get organized before they get 10 years down the road and it's too overwhelming?
Yeah. First, have a calendar. I know a lot of youngsters
so
that
is this a real calendar?
Like,
or you
it depends. What do you want? What is it that you like? I had this question out on social media, and I was like, do people use digital or print? Like writing things down.
Calendar.
And literally 100% of the responses, I think there was like 10, all were print, and then some said we also do digital.
And, that's interesting.
I thought it was fascinating. I'm actually all electronic.
Are you?
Yes.
So you don't want to see anything?
Well, I prefer to be on my phone. So it's just easier for me to see it on my telephone.
Yeah.
And I actually change the colors. I kind of make it so that it's easy for me to understand. Yes.
Now I need a phone class. And how are you doing that?
Yeah.
An iPhone class.
But I think young people, the first place they struggle is, I forgot this. I forgot that.
Yeah.
So do you have a planner? Do you have a calendar? How are you doing that? If it's electronic, let's do it electronic. If it's
do you help them organize that way too, digitally?
Absolutely.
Well, that's fascinating.
Yes, I do photo organizing with people too. Like sometimes, our clutter, now maybe we might not have paper clutter anymore. Some people,
we do have digital clutter.
But we have tons and tons of digital clutter. Yeah. Did anyone ever think we'd need a terabyte hard drive? Seriously.
Don't look in my email.
But people load those up, load them up with photos and emails and all that. So we have transferred to digital clutter. Not everyone, but there's a good amount of digital clutter.
My husband on his phone for mail had 3,672 emails. I'm like, that would make me...
I have a lot.
But I'm all about like out in this.
No,
that,
I don't do that at all.
But I do print as a backup, right? As a diehard, because phones. I mean, I've lost emails just vanished, and it's this whole glitch, right? So I think it's just that backup for me, that insurance policy.
Yeah, that's fair.
And then the more you get into that habit, Carolina, I know you'll tell me, right? But you can learn anything, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
But it takes time. It's not going to be instantaneous with a new organizational system, for sure.
Absolutely. Yeah, well, actually, when I even converted from paper to digital, it took me about a year.
There you go.
To switch from one completely to the other
and
until
feel
I
confident.
could. Right. Well, I just feel that I could make sure that everything moves over. I feel good about the system. It's well developed. It's, I'm practicing it every day. So yes.
There's a backup.
Absolutely.
Right?
Yeah. But I feel I back up my phone. I don't know if some people, so I back up my phone so that I don't run into those issues. But there's still sometimes I've put in 2 or 3 appointments in and they've erased and I'm like, wait a minute, there was an appointment here. I knew I had one. Yeah. So it still happens. I mean, it's technology, but for me, I find that the digital calendar is better for me. But that is my first recommendation for young people is get a calendar, get your stuff organized. Yeah. Your to-do lists, your appointments, checklists, those kinds of things. That would be my advice.
That's good. Well, that's really good advice for anybody. But when you were speaking at Giving Wellness, so you talked about, making your bed. So go to some of those tips. And I don't know if just basic organizational tips.
Right.
For us.
Yeah. So I gave 5 habits. You actually have.
Yes, I brought that. That's what I had. That was in the,
today.
Yes.
Yep. So the first one I said, and I think everybody got kind of a kick out of it, but make your bed. You get something accomplished in the first 5 minutes of your day and you feel like you can move on. And I loved what you said. I don't want to get into an unmade bed. Most people don't.
Do they really?
No, yeah, most people don't want to get into an unmade bed, right? And so I've seen people make beds and then get into them.
Oh yeah.
I talk to Alexa. I got this whole thing where I get up and I'm making my bed. Alexa, tell me about the weather. Give me the dog of the day. And oh yes. And by that, I'm not even aware I'm making a bed. I'm talking to her. Just, I mean, but it's my mom always made her bed.
Yes.
And so I make my bed. I don't even think twice
I
about
do it as, that is the first accomplishment, before I even go down and get the coffee. Like that's, then the day has begun, you're ordered, everything's in its place. But what was the commencement speech from the general? Do you remember that? He gave that about making your bed.
He based it on the bed. And I thought it was really great that he affirmed that. I think it was such a great speech. I think if anyone is watching this and listening to this, they should go to the general and find that. Yeah, I think if you said make bed general and just Google it, you'll totally find it. Yeah, for sure. So a couple of the other ones were create manageable to-do lists. I find that people, especially that struggle with ADD or ADHD, you can't give them 10 to-do things.
Yeah.
I say if you can do 3 a day, then you can feel accomplished. If you give yourself 5, 6, 7, you're going to beat yourself up because you didn't get that list accomplished. So just manageable. Schedule hard things when you are the strongest. So if you're a morning person, schedule those hard things, whatever that is, writing emails, whatever you find the hardest to do it during that time of day. I actually exercise in the morning because I find it to be very hard at the end of the day.
Yeah.
I feel swollen, it's hard
when
to
you've
do
got
it later.
kids at home and your dinner and all that kind of stuff.
Exactly. And then 4 is be one task minded. I know so many people talk about doing multiple things at once. I discourage it. I think do one task, complete it,
discouraging
and
multitask
move
things. Yeah.
to the next task.
Okay.
So one task at a time, complete it, and then move to the next task. Less distracted, more focused on what you're actually doing, and you'll probably get it accomplished faster if you stay one task minded. Yep. And then the 5th one was start and end your day with gratitude.
Oh, that's good.
And
that's appreciation.
However you do that, do you pray? Do you write? Do you journal? Start and ending your day. Speak it out loud. It doesn't matter how you do it. I would really encourage people to just start in it. And I think it also changed your attitude. When you show an attitude of gratitude, you really change how you view your life, your day, your family, how you view things.
And after we wake up, that's the most important thing the Lord does for me, and the rest is up to me. Like I have the opportunity to make that day whatever we want. But I learned something early on, Carolina, when I was in sales and radio sales, because I was just running. And if I would meet a person or a grumpy person or somebody that I just really didn't want to, even though I could keep calling on them, or there may be something. Someone once told me, if you have a to-do list that all you ever do is carry tasks that you hate or dread or will never do, it's so counterproductive and negative and corrosive to carry it. And that was a little bit empowering, right? Because when you're a salesman and you're commission only, you're sort of determining what you're doing in a day, how you're spending your time, because it's all against what you sell. And so I don't know if that's like a formal aspect to to-do list, because it's like you look at it every day and you go, I'm going to do that. I'm going to hang those pictures. I'm going to organize it. And then you never do. So the question becomes to me, you hire you or you do it yourself. It's time or money, right? And so I don't know if that's a thing, but that was really important for me as a student going into professional careers. Very, very important.
Absolutely. Well, and even putting a date on it. Sometimes we give ourselves to do, but no one's holding us accountable.
Right.
And I think a professional organizer can hold you accountable. A friend can hold you accountable. That's why exercise is so great to do with someone, because they're going to show up. They're going to show up at 6 a.m.
Right.
And if they're going to show up at 6 a.m., you don't want to leave them all by themselves. So you have that accountability. I think that's really important. But I think it's good to look at those lists and why. I would turn around and say, well, why don't you want to do that? Well, I'm not going to do that. Well, then can you pay someone to do it? Like, how do we get it off?
Time or money. You're going to do it. You're going to
figure it out. Correct.
So how did you, I'm totally fascinated by people that go into business and their superpowers, but how did you know how to approach this? How did you know what to talk about?
Yeah.
How did you know what questions to ask?
Yeah, for sure.
How did you begin, and what were some of the really...
Is there like an organizing certification?
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there, you can become a CPO, a certified professional organizer,
Okay.
but I am not that. But you can take education. So there's a couple of different organizations out there. The one that I started with very early on in my business is called NAPO, N-A-P-O. It's the National Association of Productivity and Organizing Professionals. It is such
productivity. That's cool. That's cool.
It's such a mouthful.
Yeah.
It used to be Professional Organizers, National Association of Professional Organizers. So they changed it a little bit to include
I
productivity.
like productivity.
For sure.
Uh-huh.
So education from them. And a lot of times that's our peers coming in to speak to us, people that have had more seasoned. I will tell you, so this will date me a little bit and also date my business because I've been doing this 17 years. I'm in my 18th year now.
Wow. Congrats to
Yeah,
you.
congratulations.
You're never going to go out of
much.
business.
Thank
I
you.
mean, there's
I love
disorganized
what I
people.
do. I
It's
love it.
obvious she loves what she
Forever.
does.
I know it.
I love
know
what
it.
I do. I remember when I wanted to start it, I said to my husband, well, I want to know how to approach this, how to talk to people.
Exactly.
Where do I start first?
Right.
I can look at a project now and I know where to go first, right? And I can talk to the client, listen to what they're looking for, and then we can get started. So I went to the library, and I don't know if you guys have ever heard of Julie Morgenstern. She's like one of our veteran professional organizers, and she had a VHS. She actually had 3 VHSs.
Our
in the
younger
library.
listeners will not know what you mean by that.
That's why I told you it would date me.
Videotape.
Yes, it was a videotape that I got from the library, and I watched her, and she talked about time management. She talked about handling a lot of different things. I bought a couple of books from her, and then I also educated myself through NAPO.
Oh,
What a
great.
bootstrapper. What were some of the biggest challenges early on?
Outside of the name, because that took us like a year.
Yeah.
That was tough.
Yeah.
That actually is a really fun story because I was just like battling over the name, frustrated. I really wanted to get this started. And I do a Christmas letter. There's only 1 year I haven't done it since my kids have been born, right? So as I said earlier, my oldest is going to be 22 tomorrow.
Wow. Yay.
Yeah,
Yay.
so exciting.
Happy birthday to him.
I'm so proud of him. And when every Christmas, I would write that Christmas letter. Well, that Christmas letter, I wanted to put my feet to the fire. And I put in there, I have a special announcement. I'll have it by next year. And so I was like, we gotta get a name. Exactly. I made myself accountable. And so I really wanted to come up with a name. And a really sweet friend of mine called me. She's so kind. She's like, I woke up in the middle of the night and I wrote down a bunch of names. I just woke up and wrote them all down. Her name is
adorable.
Renee. She's so sweet. And so I was like, well, read them off to me. She read them to me, and Cure the Clutter was one of those names. And so then Cure the Clutter was born.
I love it.
So I feel
I
like
keep that by my bed or I would never sleep.
Yes.
Just firing on
Our
pistons
minds are,
and-
constantly going.
Just write it
Writing
down. Now I
notes down.
have
Yep.
it, and I don't even know
Good,
what it
for
is
sure.
most of the time, but
For sure.
it's all good.
Yeah, for sure.
To go back to sleep.
So tell us about hoarders, because I know you've, one of the, do you call it consultants or one of the professional organizers working with those people. And I did ask you, is it legit? And you said, yes, it is.
It is legit. Yeah. And it's understandable. It's reality television.
Right.
Some people are like, oh, is it all posed? It's real. It's real.
So
and
is it the customer's own emotional reaction? That's all real when they
it's
honestly don't want to
genuine.
get rid of anything and they can't even walk through their house.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I feel like there's a couple things there. Yes, I started back in 2000. I did 6 seasons with the show.
Wow.
Thankfully. It was really just a wonderful opportunity. I really enjoyed
And
being
it's
a part
you
of that.
and a psychologist.
Correct, are kind of the hosts.
Yeah.
So the psychologists and the professional kind of work together. We do the physical cleanup, and she does the mental.
But often the family is there.
mental cleanup.
Absolutely, and the family helps, and sometimes hurts.
Yeah, I was going to say.
It's a really interesting dynamic. To be on the show, you need to have a family that will come around you. So I think it's really important.
Do the families usually recommend the relative for this?
I don't know that I can speak to all of that and all the episodes if the family recommends, but family does a lot of times recommend.
Yeah, because I know they're like at the end of their rope for the physical safety of the person living in the house.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, I just started with a client this week that's struggling, and it makes my heart is sad, but the family member reached out to me for the help. And I was like, well, do they want help?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like the most important thing is that the person that's struggling wants the help. And if they don't want the help, there's not much I can do.
Isn't there many cases, I don't know what the percentage, it is an addiction disorder there.
It's a mental disorder.
Yes.
Mental.
So, when you say, it's kind of like alcoholism, the person has to want help. You can't force them into that, but probably a similar circumstance. But imagine, I would be so inspired if I were you to know the life-changing difference you're making in a person's life, in the family's life, that relationships could come back together because the space is clean and safe and free from harm, actually.
Yeah. They have a lot of work to put in. They have a lot of physical and then a lot of mental work to put in. And I think
so the client does.
The person that's struggling, right? And so if they're not doing any of the mental work, the physical won't matter. It really comes hand in hand.
Yeah.
So I actually often say, like, I prefer you don't hire me first. I prefer you actually see a therapist first. Start working through.
Yeah.
Correct. Because if I'm walking through the space and you're telling me you're going to keep everything, that means you're not ready. That means you're not ready for this process. Your family is forcing this on you. And someone else could be forcing it too. A landlord could be forcing it. The police could be forcing it because it could be an endangerment.
I've seen city planners show up and with eviction.
There are people that hoard animals. I mean,
that too. Yeah. And I think several that just balloons.
They don't
into that.
They don't really do. They haven't done. Not animals anymore.
Right.
I think it was just a really tough subject to broach, and viewers just had a really hard time with it. That's very hard to watch, to see animals abused. Yeah. So I feel like if they're not doing the mental, though, the physical really doesn't matter. Like they have to be ready to do some mental work so that they can actually do physical work. So if there's someone listening and saying, well, my mom or my dad or my grandparents I believe are hoarders, which I will say I don't love that title. People that struggle with hoarding disorder is how I would describe it.
Right.
Is if they're struggling, they need to see someone. They need to work through it, and not someone that's family. I think people want to help so much, but I think sometimes family hurts in that manner. So I think it's really important to find a therapist, someone that actually specializes in it.
Right.
And here in Central Pennsylvania, there is someone that I work with. And there are others too that I work with to send people to, but therapy and then a professional organizer. Because I think if we go hand in hand, it's a really sweet combination. And I've worked with people. I have a gal that I've worked with for quite a few years now. I want to say it's maybe 4 or 5 years. And she struggled with hoarding disorder. And she actually texted me today. She is so sweet. She found an expired condiment in her fridge. And she's like thinking of you with a laughing emoji. She has grown so much, but she has done the work. She sees a therapist every week.
It's funny you say that because there's an older family member, that you'll open the fridge and they're, long expired salad dressings or whatever. So it's kind of, humorous where we would come in and throw up, but depending when a person was born, if you were born close enough to the Depression, you're not throwing anything out, certain situations, if you grew up more impoverished, you're not, kind of like your dog example, you're guarding, you're not
That's exactly
releasing anything like that. I pulled up one of your videos, Carolina. I want to say it's probably like 6 years ago or a while ago.
Wow. Okay.
It was a hoarder situation, and you were asking the older woman, want to throw away this. It was like a hallway table, but it was plastic, and you had said it's plastic, but to her, she said, well, that was my mother's, and this is her house, and it was in the hallway. So in her mind, it was a respect to her parents of no real use in the home now, and just totally cluttering up. But I can see that emotional challenge too. If it was handed down to you,
attachment.
Yeah, but it feels almost disrespectful to throw it out, but probably a lot of stuff. What do we do with all the stuff, when parents go into a facility or they pass away, you're left with all this generational. My mother saved all the birthday cards and the...
Yeah, I know. Those are such hard things. I think find out what's really important to them and hold on to those things. If it's furniture and large things, are they antiques? Could you find some value in them? If there's some value, then, see if you can sell them. We, as a business as I'm a collectibles advisor. And so I help people, like, for instance...
Oh, wait, that's interesting. A collectibles advisor.
Yeah. So
what is that?
I advise people on being able to let go of things. I have a client who has a mortar from World War II. And what a cool thing, but it needs to be disarmed, right? It actually still could be set off. He wouldn't, obviously, right? Yes. But it needs to be disarmed and sold. And I was able to connect with him with someone to be able to sell the mortar. I have another person who has bayonets from World War I.
Wow.
French bayonets. So you have people from a lot of different walks of life, and we can put them together, gold and silver and Asian, art and artifacts, all those things. We have people that we are connected with.
Oh, good.
I'm actually part of the Keys Guild. I'm a founding member of the Keys Guild. We started it during COVID. Everybody in COVID, like, what do you do? I have a service business. I have to interact with people. I wasn't working.
Good for you for starting something in the middle of a pandemic. That's awesome.
Well, so a gentleman started it with a bunch of us professional organizers. So Charles started it, phenomenal human and super, super smart. Has so much knowledge. Like, it blows me away about glassware and Asian art and gems and metals, precious metals. So he was awesome. It was great to meet with him, but we learned so much as collectibles advisors. And so this kind of grew from that. So helping people be able to, if there's some value in things, being able to let them go for money or understand that they have that value and they can just hold on to it. It's hard. It is hard. But I think sometimes there's two things that I think about. One is helping people get rid of it well, whether it's donating it to a great organization or, them knowing that they got some money from it. Right. And then the second thing is like, if they're able to know, like, it's not getting just dumped into the dumpster or whatever, if they know, it's so hard. Cause I often say to them, that if you don't make these decisions now, someone's going to make it for you. And if you don't want that to just get trashed, it's important for you to make that decision now. Right. I'm not trying to, put fire under you, but I definitely want you to make the decision over someone else.
And someone may be able to enjoy it next.
Right.
And I think letting it go and giving it a second life is so important,
If you've been through the process, I've lost both my parents.
Sorry.
If you've been through that process, thank heavens that my dad started cleaning out. I'm one of 4. So he started cleaning out the attic well before, he ever got into old age. But it was eye-opening to us. Like, we shouldn't leave that to our kids to do. Like, that's not good. Like, it's not fair to them to be saddled with the emotional loss that they'll be going through. And then, like, again, not wanting to throw out whatever mom and dad had. So we saw it from the other lens, and it was a really good, lesson. Get your house in order, whether that's, we talked just about wills, doing things ahead so you don't burden your children with that. Like, it's not their job to do that.
I wholeheartedly agree. I think there is 2 mindsets, though. There's the mindset of, I'm giving you this gift of all these treasures. There are people that think that and say that, if you can both believe it. And then there are people that, I have a client that was here on the West Shore, and she's like, I have one son and I don't want to leave any chaos to him.
Right.
And it took us about 8 months, and we went through her entire house, top to bottom.
Wow.
Second, first, and basement. I was really proud of her. She did a great job. And then I worked with her husband too on, the things that he needed to address, and some things he had for years, decades.
There's that meme on Instagram. I don't know if you've seen it, with a storage unit.
Yes,
the kids, the grown kids are coming over to the parents, and the mom and dad pull the garage door up and say, "This is all yours someday."
I've seen cartoons of that. It's that I don't think that's the right attitude to take. I disagree with that, but there are some people that look at it that way. And the unfortunate thing is a lot of people, their children or grandchildren, back up a dumpster and just
Totally
trash it all.
Totally.
Do you know what happened, Anne? 40 minutes have gone by.
Annie.
I know we haven't even gotten close. Like, I have 2 more things, and we'll probably like close the show down, and I'll go, Carolina, here's like, but that's how fast it.
Yeah,
all
answer.
good.
Did you have 2 more questions?
No, they're either a part 2 or they're.
No, yeah, we do need to do a part 2. Okay,
yeah.
one last question, Carolina.
for it.
What would you tell your younger self? So either about clutter or about starting your business. Our listeners love that question.
Yeah. Don't be afraid.
Oh, nice.
Do it. Do it. Do it. Don't be afraid. Just go for it. Yes, go for it. Yep.
Good,
Be
good,
brave.
good.
Yes. Yeah. Go
So
for
I'm going to
it.
think of you because early Saturday mornings are when I feel I should declutter. And it honestly is so fabulous of a feeling. It's refreshing. I feel accomplished.
Absolutely.
It doesn't matter that nobody else
I
sees what it
always
was.
feel that way when I donate, when I get
Yes,
like
yes,
I
yes.
repurpose. I feel so good.
I finally decided like today's the day I'm going now. Maybe tomorrow I'll do my closet. I'll get those clothes and get them to Salvation Army or whatever.
Well, or even piecemeal it. Like do one side of your closet or do
Yes.
one rack,
No, I
do
know.
just tops. Or sometimes I think when we look at a giant project, we're like, there's no way that's going to take
It's
you 3
overwhelming.
days.
Yeah.
It's
So you don't do
overwhelming.
anything. You
So
never
you don't
start.
even touch it.
Just start.
Just start,
Just
but then
start.
start small.
Right.
I encourage start small. Make a couple decisions. Don't make 100. Make 6. Make 10.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, where can we find you?
So I on socials, I'm at Cure the Clutter. Pretty much every social except Instagram. It's Cure. It's at Cure_the_clutter.
Okay.
You can find me there. I also have a blog that I write. I was actually talking with my husband yesterday about a new idea for a blog that I want to post later this month. So look for that.
And do you
for sure.
travel to cure people's clutter?
A little bit, but I like to serve my community. So I'm
Great.
based here
No,
in
I
Central
love that.
Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
Yep. And so I stay focused here. I have helped outside of the area a little bit, but I tend to stay here in Central Pennsylvania. So I have like existing clients that sometimes ask me to go outside of the area, and I'll do that for them. Yeah.
Good. So to our listeners, if you want to come to a more organized region, you have to move to Central Pennsylvania, where Carolina has had her influence and impact. Thank you so much, Carolina. I
was a
love the
pleasure.
conversation. Clearly,
Extraordinary.
Annie, we went way over, but good content. Good
It's our
stories
show.
are good
We can
stories.
do whatever we want.
You guys are so much fun. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Have a high gear day, ladies. And it's Friday. Thanks for listening. It's our desire that these stories will bring energy, ideas, and fresh thinking that you can use today. Subscribe to our podcast and follow us on Instagram. And have a high gear day.